Speaking of problems, let's get down to some of the common problems that I see going on right now. So, as I said when I started the show today, it really starts with you have an estate plan, you spent the money, you spent the time, you think everything is fine until it's not, right? Your family discovers, because you may not be here anymore, that it's outdated, incomplete, improperly funded, no longer accomplishes what you originally set out to do. Not your fault, but we need to correct it. So here's my 7 mistakes I'm going to hustle through. And again, go through great detail on the webinar. You have no estate plan at all. So what happens when someone dies without an estate plan? When I say estate plan, I'm talking a revocable trust. It's really simple. You've heard me say this a million times. Your estate's going to probate, plain and simple. No problem if your spouse is still alive, not an issue there in most cases. But it's when there's only, one of you left, and then that final person dies. No estate plan, meaning no revocable trust, your estate's going to probate. Your child or whomever you've named as your executor or successor trustee, they get to have a really fun time. They get to go deal with attorneys. They get to go deal with judges. They get to go deal with the court system. They get to go do all these fun things. And they're cussing you along the way saying, son of a gun, mom, son of a gun, dad. If you would have just spent a few $1,000s and had an estate plan done, I wouldn't be down here. I've told you many times, I've literally had clients who have had to quit their job, budding careers, to focus on settling the estate of mom and dad. Because it sometimes, depending upon the size of the estate, it literally is a full-time job, and it can drag on definitely for months, sometimes years, I've seen. So that's what happens. It's your choice. You have an estate plan, no probate. Don't have an estate plan, your estate's going to probate. Probate court, of course, besides it being costly, timely, they're going to determine who gets your money. I don't think any of us want that. The cost, the delays. I want to remind you again, the loss of privacy. When your estate goes to probate, anybody and their uncle can come in, knock on the door, sit down in the courtroom, and learn everything about all your assets. Family disputes, that's really the big one, of course. Family begins fighting. No, dad promised me this. No, mom promised me that. Yeah, it's a disaster. And then again, for those of you with young children, it's the guardianship issue. When you go to bed tonight, if you're wondering if you should have an estate plan, think about this if you have children. Do you want the court deciding who is going to raise your children? If you don't have a problem with that, then the next question you need to ask yourself is this. How in the heck is that person that you want the judge to decide to raise your children, how are they going to pay for it? It costs nearly $300,000 to raise a child these days, from birth to 18 years old. How are they going to pay for it? Those are the things our blended family estate plan covers. So guardianship issues for minor children. So as you see, I haven't really talked at all about money, because estate planning isn't about wealth. It's about protecting the people you love. Let's go to mistake number 2. You believe your old estate plan is good enough. As I said at the beginning of the show, hey, no problem. You know what? Got the estate plan done years ago. Everything's fine. Trust created 10, 15, 20 years ago. I'm seeing it. Every day I'm seeing it. Well, guess what? Maybe those kids we were just talking about, they were minors when you wrote the trust or had the trust written. They're adults now. Trust isn't accurate. Or how about the person you named as your successor trustee? They passed away. Maybe you don't like him anymore. I had one the other day. They don't like that person anymore. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe, when I reviewed the trust and did the restatement, they're like, I can't believe I had that person named. I haven't talked to them in 20 years. Get them out of there. Marriage, divorce, births and deaths, meaning life changes. Changes in assets. But once again, I just had a discussion with an attorney right before the show today. People all the time, they have a trust. It was written years ago. They forget they're supposed to put any major assets into the trust as added to the trust, and they forget. In the story I gave you at the beginning of the show, you decide to maybe buy a rental or a second vacation home or something. You don't put it in the trust. Guess what? It's going to probate. The rest of your estate may be fine, but that's going to probate. And then most importantly, changes in laws. You can't believe how many things, especially after the Secure 2.0 Act changed or was implemented a few years ago after COVID, so many things in estate planning have changed. So again, when you wrote the trust, probably was very accurate at the time being. It reflected your life then. But does it really reflect your life today?